fam, it's me again. Relationships are based on our relationship with the Heavenly Father. And I say this because if we know what it is that He expects of us, then we can love one another better. And the only way to do that is to follow the laws that He has given us, right? A lot of people don't want to hear that, but guess what? The land has laws that they give us that we have to adhere to, otherwise we get locked up if we break those laws, right? But those laws are based on God's laws. The stealing, the killing, all these things like that. When you break a law, you get arrested for it on the earth. But when you break a law that the Most High God has given you, you subject yourself to possibly going to hell. And not to mention, you have to deal with the consequences of your actions now or whenever they come. And so our relationship with the Father is so important because He tells us what to do in order to have order amongst us. And that's all I really care about is our relationships with the Father and with one another, because they're so important. We need each other and we participate with one another in our lives, right? And what a joy it would be if we could participate one another in a great way to the best of our ability. Now, unfortunately, a lot of us don't like to cooperate. A lot of us want to do whatever and treat people however and still think you're supposed to have your way and have the nerve to have an attitude about it and everything, right? So this is why relationships are messed up and spoiled. We don't treat one another the way we wish to be treated. And that's one of the laws of God, right? Love God first and love one another. And it says to treat one another the way you wish to be treated. Why would you treat somebody in a way that you know for a fact you would not appreciate? But it's done, right? And this is what causes friction in our relationships. And so our relationships and bonds would be so much sweeter if we only just adhere to the Most High God's laws. And by having a better relationship with Him, we can have better relationships with one another. If everybody did that, could y'all imagine how sweet life would be? Could you imagine? And we wouldn't be blaming everything on the Lord, because I really cannot stand when I hear people say that. Oh, God, let this happen. Oh, God, let that happen. No, God gave us free will. That is a blessing. He blessed us with free will, which means you can choose your behaviors. And when you choose poor behaviors, it results in chaos, which is the state of the world now, right? But we want to blame it on God. And then it's funny because I'm in the Bible reading, and there was many times where the Father wiped hundreds of people out. He told certain prophets to just go and kill them. And He also opened up the ground and swallowed people up whole in one shot because they were just so rebellious, so stiff-necked, so idolatrous, so disrespectful to Him. He wiped them out on the spot. And people would be like, what kind of God would do something like that? We're never satisfied with His decision making, even though He's a wise God, right? We think He should do things the way we want Him to do it, when we don't do anything the way He wants us to do it, right? I mean, who's the God here and who are the so-called children of God? We treat Him like He's some type of genie, some puppet that we could just play with when we feel like being bothered, and He's supposed to just sit back and do whatever we want Him to do, when we want Him to do it, how we want Him to do it. And it don't work that way. Bless His name. It doesn't work that way. He is God. He gave us rules to follow, and when you break the rules, bad things occur. And this is why the world is a mess, right? And our relationships are in a mess because people are selfish. We choose to do what we want to do, how we want to do it, and we expect everybody to bow down at our feet and kiss our big toe. It doesn't work that way, family. If you want to correct your relationships with others, you must correct your relationship with the Father. Now, everybody else does not have the same idea, right, to please the Lord. So when they do not live their lives in that regard, then there comes a time when we may have to cut ties with people because dealing with them is detrimental to our mental and physical. And, you can't deal with people like that. And so you have to separate yourself from them. But I mean, just the thought of if everybody just did the will of God, how sweet life would be for all of us. How sweet. Can you all imagine? It wouldn't be that we wouldn't make any mistakes, but we would apologize for the mistakes and we would go forward with more wisdom to deal with one another in a better way. We would learn from our mistakes and then keep it pushing. We would accept one another's apologies and then keep it pushing. But we're not like that. We live a life of no humility and no regard for other people. We just think that what we got going on is the all end all be all, and everybody else can just fall back, or fall in line with us as if we're God. So I just wanted to make that known, because my whole channel is about relationships. I think our relationships are so important and they're needed. But a lot of us feel like, oh, I don't need nobody. That's a lie. You need people. Because just like I'm getting ready to go in this store, if it wasn't for the company who opened up this store and fill the store with the products that I need, I would not have them. If it wasn't for the people that worked in the store, I would not be able to come here and purchase the items. You understand what I'm saying? It's people that's making the world go round. And so, yes, we do need people. Everything we have, including this vehicle I'm sitting in, I bought it from someone. So we cannot say we don't need people. I needed my parents, my grandmothers, and all those who helped and had a hand in raising me, to nurture me, to feed me, to care for me, to clothe me, to bathe me. All the things I could not do when I was not able to do them, I needed somebody to help me do them. So we need people. We need one another. There's no way you could live your life and not need someone. It's impossible. So that type of attitude sucks. And so, as I was saying, my whole page is about our relationships with one another, because I think it's so crucial. They're so poor. They're so messed up, and a lot of it is childhood damaging from parents and stuff like that. And some of us have gone through abuse. If we haven't experienced it ourselves, we witnessed it. And so our relationships are so broken and messed up. So all I care about is fixing those bonds and healing, breaking chains. And so when I do my videos are always going to be in relation to relationships, because that's the most important thing to me. And it should be to all of us. We have children in this world. We have grandchildren in this world who we want to see grow up and be happy as possible, healthy as possible. And at least the whole world is not going to change. We already know that. But whomever I'm reaching through these videos, you can have a change of heart and change your mindset and make your world, at least in your world, amongst your family and friends, as good as possible, as smooth sailing as possible. And the children that are in your life can have the best life that you could possibly give them. Nurturing them the proper way and doing things in front of them to set good examples. Because a lot of us lack that. I see so much stuff on this internet that it just blows my mind. Women on there with their little girls dressed sexy with the shirt tied up with their belly exposed, and they twerking and they with their little kid, and people are applauding this type of behavior. It's unbelievable to me. So we see the state of the world, right? So that goes to show you that our relationship with the Father is number one. When we have a good relationship with Him, it will trickle down into all our other relationships. All right, family, I am done. Have a blessed and wonderful weekend. Peace, love, and blessings.